Yeah, and with freaking databases and nuclear power plants everywhere, this guy's in a hot sector, Lightbridge, LTBR. This is just, a part of that. How do you fuel the data centers? Where does the energy come from? And this guy is apparently has a more efficient way to fuel the nuclear plants. So, running off two kind of things where it's, nuclear energy will be the choice to power data centers, and then this has a better way to fuel those nuclear power plants. So we'll look around at this stock. I like to always check the financials and then kind of the valuation and kind of a few other things. I'm going to start with kind of the narrative on this stock and kind of what it is. And again, I'm not claiming to be an expert or know anything. I just like to give you guys something new to look at. And then you guys can figure out if you like it or not. And hopefully I gave you something you didn't know about. So, let's see. Okay. Building a new nuclear reactor takes a decade. Holy cow. Lightbridge's fuel is designed to be a drop-in replacement for standard zirconium-clad uranium oxide pellets. Holy cow, that's a phrase. In existing commercial light water reactors. If utilities can boost power output by just 30% by changing the fuel during a standard refueling cycle, economics are irresistible. Fortress of intellectual property. Got a bunch of new patents across all kinds of places. Tightly aligned with state-funded research, working along the U.S. Department of Energy and entering critical testing contracts with key entities like Stern Laboratories and Studsvik. All right. Dang. We'll look at this later, but lots of cash, zero debt. So nice. Okay, Bear, we already know that. What is it saying? Lightbridge's fuel relies on high assay low enriched uranium, which is enriched between 5 and 20%. The Western supply chain for this is still in infancy and struggling to decouple from Russian dependency. If domestic fuel enrichment facilities cannot scale fast enough, Lightbridge won't have material needed for commercial scale deployment. And then besides that, this is all just like the standard bear argument. In 3 to 5 years, you're looking for licensing deals with fuel fabricators, maybe an acquisition target, those sorts of things. So, they're mentioning SMR here too. So, okay, that's kind of the narrative of what it is. Let's look at a few different things here. So here's that cash position they were talking about. It's a lot of cash. We already know they have zero debt. I want to see, and then no revenue. Big spends into G&A and research and development. Burning $7 million a year. So I mean, gosh, if this is all they burn, then they got decades of cash runway. But I almost guarantee you there's going to be some sort of like investing activities or capex or something that they're going to build. Maybe I shouldn't assume. Let's see. Will that 215 million they have need to be used for investing activities and capex? I'm just trying to decide, like, are they trying to build a nuclear plant, or just the fuel, or do they take uranium and filter it, or they're a filter plant? Okay. Intellectual property and technology development country. Okay, so rather than a utility miner or infrastructure builder, their financial layout looks completely different from standard industrial company. They're not using that cash to build multi-million-dollar factories, buy heavy machinery, or clear land. Instead, almost entirely will move through operating activities, burning through research and development and G&A. Oh. Well, dang, then they got decades of cash runway then. It's not building its own testing reactors or advanced facilities. They outsource physical work. They pay this laboratory to run tests in the reactor. And then this, so Um, so then I'm imagining they make money through contracts. As purposely engineered as an asset-light, high-liquidity business model. Um, isn't okay. If they successfully validate the fuel, the final step isn't ramping up massive capex to build a fabrication plant. It's licensing the design to establish giants like these who already have the infrastructure to build it. Dang. Okay, well then tell me this then. It sounds like they make money through contracts. How much revenue um, could they make if they are successful? Um, 25 billion annually. Well, the total addressable market is 25 billion. Driven replacement. Da, 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 da. Okay, give me this. So, okay, so they could make a lot. If they're successful, granted, their nuclear power is going to need to really blow up, but these guys got plenty of time. They're chilling. They got plenty of time. So it's all about once the nuclear reactors show up everywhere, then these guys will get contracts with them and make money with their kind of technology. I don't think there's much to see here. Um, because I think we already got the gist of what I wanted out here. Let's look at the shareholders, or let's institutions first. So, institutional buying. Look at this. From 2024, it went from 18% to almost 50%. So massive institutional accumulation. You're looking at dang, there's only 35 million shares. Wow, that's very low. The lower, the better. 400 million market cap. And this, the lower this is, the easier it is for it to move in price. Where are we looking at the chart here? Um, let's take that off. I mean, obviously not financial advice, but you're not buying at the top. Not really too many people are paying attention to the stock right now, it looks like. Institutions are buying it. But yeah, it's you're near the lows. I mean, granted, this is a long term. In my opinion, this is a long term stock, unless Wall Street starts to forward look and price in its future, which it may do, but it doesn't look like it's doing that right now because the price to book, yeah, they have 250 million. They're just saying the market cap's 403 million. So enterprise value is like what 200 million around there. So there's not a ton being priced in. I guess you could argue maybe there is already, but this one's interesting. This is definitely a longer one, longer time hold. Um, but yeah, let's look at these insiders. It looks like there are buyers, and I guarantee you there's stock based compensation here. I guess we could check for that in here. Um, here's the financing. So they already did their dilution. Um, they already did that. Let's do what are insiders doing with stock? Okay. So no buying in over a year. And then tax so this when this says bearish insiders, it doesn't necessarily mean it's just that they're tax dispositions, whatnot. This guy sold a lot. Yeah. I sold a lot. Is there stock-based compensation? Doesn't look like there is. I'm gonna double check. No, I'm wrong. There is. So 4 million and 6 million. So there's gonna be a little dilution there. But I mean, when you got a share count of only 35 million, that's not anything to worry about. That is not anything to worry about. Yeah, I think that's it. This one is really all about that narrative of, are they going to get those contracts with nuclear reactors? I'd say this is maybe a longer term hold, maybe not. Maybe it does well. Something happened with it back here. Got all the way up to $27. So, yeah, this one's interesting. Light Bridge. So if you know more about it, or if you been following this for a while, let me know. I'd love to hear more and learn more. And hopefully this gave you a new company to look at. And I'll see you guys.